What's up, everybody? It's Debatable, and today we're going to be making 20 million in Farming Simulator 2022 off nothing but cotton. And I've gone ahead and done a little bit of shopping. But first, let me let you know what map I'm playing on. Eastern North Carolina. It is a mod map, obviously. It has a couple different things included in it. There's some changes to production, and there's also some changes to chickens and some animal coops and pens and things like that. We're not going to be delving too much into that. I'm only going to touch animals if I need to cover like leases and things like that, because I do have lease to own on here. And if we do animals, the only thing I will do is chickens. I will not be doing cows or any other animal. So we already have basically all the gear we're going to need. We got super lucky, and the tractor was on sale. So we were able to get a super good tractor for 50% off. So that's super cool. And then it's just the other basic essentials. I got a nice big plow and things like that because I don't like wasting time. We are missing one or two things. I'm still going to need something to do lime and stuff like that. However, our main concern at the moment is we have all this stuff and nowhere for it to live. So I'm thinking we need to pick out where we're going to go. So I already have everything sectioned off to tell me where things are. And by the look of it, these are the fields that already have cotton planted. So since we're trying to do nothing but cotton, I feel like it might be keen or a good idea to go ahead and purchase at least one of these plots that is already planted with cotton. I guess my real concern is I want to be able to purchase, say, a set of land or just at least a decent area right next to it, and we're going to try and expand outward from that. I don't want to obviously buy this, and then end up choosing later that I want to buy this, say 35 down in the corner. Because transporting equipment across the map isn't really something I'm trying to do. I'd rather it all be in one area. That way, if I do need to, it's a little bit shorter. Or even better, it's just a case of it works. I work here, move to that one, move to that one, move to that one, and then I can take the trek back rather than having to do one field to then go across the map to then have to drive across the map. Because when you're only going 12 miles an hour, that's not quite fun. But let's see what we can work with here. So 9, 19, 23. I don't really want 10, at least not immediately, just because of the fact that in all reality, it's super small. The bigger we can go with cotton off the rip, the better I feel we're gonna do. So I'm interested in 9 quite a bit. That's gonna take half our money though, and this is only gonna be 40. So I think 9 is gonna be the biggest section we can get. The only reason I'm tempted with 23 is purely because of the fact that it's so perfectly shaped. Well, not perfect, but it's much closer. So if I wanted to have AI do it, it would do a better job. But I think for the money, 9's probably going to be the best. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much the same. It's not too far off. How much is 10? 105. So let's see. What 105? That would be 145 plus 436. That would be about 6 and some change. If we wanted to get all 3 and just go big off the start. I mean, we could do that. But I'm keeping in mind I'm going to want to get some kind of buildings put down here for our stuff. So I think we're going to go with 9. 9 for sure. Just because it's the biggest section. And I think we'll go with good old 143. I think that's going to be a good start. And we can expand from there. Let's get our base of operations kind of set up. Luckily, since this is already planted cotton, We don't have to do anything for this. And truth be told, if we bought 10, we could quite literally just skip straight to harvest and pocket a bit of a fat check off the rip. But our goal is 20 million, so we got a long way to go. So let's go in and see what it looks like when we fly over there for construction. We're not going to have to bother with silos or anything, just sheds and a house, because I'm going to need to fast forward time to some extent. Which reminds me, now that I mention it, I am going to need to modify the time. I want it to be two days per month, and then I need to make sure that if I do use AI, he does not get anything... Like, no purchasing. I don't want to see all the money fade away because he keeps buying crap that I already own or buy. So, wow, this is going to be a very tiny bit of land. But what we will do is make the most of it, I think. So we'll do one here, like so. And what else do we have in the shop here? I don't know that we inherently need to get anything else. We could always put a little wooden barn down. I quite like having those. Where's the edge of our area? Right there. So let's slap that bad boy right there. Now we'll have at least an enclosed area where we can keep seeds and things like that. And then all we need is a farmhouse. I don't have hardly any mods for farmhouses down, because if I'm being brutally honest, I really could care less that the place I fast forward time looks nice. But we'll go with a nice little mobile home shack right there, and that should get us going pretty good. So as we're heading over there, we have the one downside of I'm gonna have to tote all this crap over there. The trailer, I don't really have many intentions on using it for much other than when I buy seeds and things like that. We are going to run into the problem that if we want to try and use that for the cotton bales, we're gonna run into a problem, because those things are so big and so heavy that, I mean, if we're being perfectly honest with ourselves, that thing probably couldn't in real life handle the weight of a gigantic ball of cotton. But theoretically, if we want to scrape by doing it, we could take and transport one at a time. My question is going to be, and we're not going to have the answer to this until we harvest, is how much will we yield from this one field? And that's the big question. As for the harvester, if you're looking at my money and concerned that we're already well underneath what a harvester costs, fret not, do not worry. Like I said at the very beginning, I have lease to own on. So my current plan is I'm going to lease to own the harvester. I'm hoping that off of the first year harvest that we'll be able to afford a second one, or at least pay off the first one. As long as we're able to do that, we're going to be in a really good position, I think, to upgrade to another tractor, another plow, another this, another that. I am not going to be playing... I haven't watched a lot of other people do this whole challenge, and the ones that I have kind of seen a little bit in piece of, they always start from nothing. I'm not doing that. I have no desire to start from $0. It's just extra steps to the same goal. It's not inherently more difficult if you were to ask what I think. No offense to the people that are doing that, and you know what? Maybe that's more entertaining for some people, but it's just one of those things. If I'm going to play a video game, I'm not going to just make it not fun for the first 5 hours just to enjoy it later on, maybe. And that's not to say I won't ever do it, but it's not in my plan. But anyways, off topic. That is my plan with the harvester, and we should be pretty set doing it that way. Once we start getting into field work, I'm going to be doing a lot of cuts. So I'm not going to make you guys sit here and watch me take and go back and forth and back and forth. If you would like, and this is going to be up to you, if you're watching this video and you want to see a time lapse of me doing it, because I know some people find that extremely satisfying. It's why if you go on TikTok, instead of the Minecraft parkour, you'll see people that are just plowing land. So if you would like to see that, I can certainly oblige and do time lapses of it with okay, thanks pal, with a little bit of music, and that'll be pretty good, I think. But that one's up to you. For now, I'm just gonna do cuts. It's gonna save on length of the video and how long that runs for. I'm gonna keep forgetting that's my turn, because my goal is to keep these around 30 minutes, give or take. Right now we're already pushing 11, and there's no cutting, so this first one might be a little bit longer, but we got to get all of our stuff over here, and I need to figure something out for us, just because we already have a massive field full of cotton. I'm tempted to buy another piece of land just right away. Realistically, since we don't have to sink anything into, well, basically anything, we don't have to buy seed or anything like that. As far as I can tell, granted, I don't know if this ground was plowed. It needs plowing. So we might need to do herbicide. But aside from that, we don't need to do anything as of right now. However, if we do buy another piece of land and prep it, we will need to get a few things. Lime is one of them. The only other option we would have is we could take and... I've never had one with tracks, sorry. I'm oogling a bit. But I suppose what we could always do is just not put lime on the ground, and that would save us on having to buy one of the spreaders. And the lime, naturally. My concern with that is I don't know if I want to spend the money on the land to not get the full yield. Because if I'm going to do that, I'm inherently immediately going to lose out on some yield. And I don't know if I'm okay with doing that. But let's just get the tractor over to the farm, the homestead, we shall call it. And then we'll take a look at the map and see if there's any cheap pieces of land relatively close. They don't have to have cotton. Just to see what we can pick from. Because if we're going to do lease to own, we have a lot of money that we can still play with here in terms of land. And I think that's going to be the big factor, is if we don't buy... wow, that's okay. Helicopter. If we don't buy the land now, I think it's going to bite us later. I really do. Just because I think the first harvest will make or break how easy or hard this is. So the more we can kind of plan ahead here, the better, I think. At least that's if I was to guess. I could be wrong. Probably wrong. But either way. Oh, and side note, real quick, I want to make it clear, I'm not a pro at this game. I picked it up not crazy long ago. I've been having fun with it. And saw all the cool challenges people were doing, and I figured I would give it a try. I have only farmed cotton once or twice, and it was never beyond one harvest. So this is kind of new to me. I'm going to be learning how to maximize how much cotton you get kind of on the go, and we'll see how long or difficult it is to pull off. I'm not really sure what to expect or how hard or how easy it'll be. I do know cotton sells for quite a bit per bale, but it takes a lot to make a bale. And my other concern is picking the bales up, because those suckers are ridiculously heavy. So we will leave that there at the moment. And let's go grab our trailer, or at least take ourselves back over to the shop. And then we'll take another look at this here land and see what's nearby for a good price. Just because we could just buy one more field with cotton, fast forward, take the gain from not having to plant it ourselves. But we won't get a max yield, whereas, I don't know. That's where it's tricky. I don't want to drain my account naturally, because I feel like we need to have a little bit of money in the bank, especially if we're going to lease to own the harvester. But I'm not too sure. So let's swoop in here. If I don't like what I see, what we'll go ahead and do is just jump straight to the harvest of what we have. Depending on what we decide on, naturally. So let's see here. What do we have? So if we wanted to just do pre-planted, this is 289. So we're basic. Wow, that would put us below 2K, and I don't know if I like that. That starts pushing it, I think. Even that one's 107. Wow. 300, 193. That's not terrible. That one would need planted, though, and plowed and everything like that. In a perfect world, I really want this one and this one, because those seem to be two of the biggest. Oh, never mind. Down on the bottom. Holy schmoly. At some point, we'll want to expand there, probably. I don't really care about any of these houses. Granted, if we bought those and the fields above it, we could turn it into one mega field, I suppose. So maybe at some point we go through and just buy those out. Gosh, I don't know. I'm so indecisive when it comes to this. You know what? Screw it. Let's go ahead and we're just going to buy 10. We're just going to buy 10. And we'll take and claim that as ours. And then let's see what we can do about herbicide. Granted, yeah, maybe it's not even worth doing if we're not going to be getting the full yield bonus anyways. I think it only docks 10% yield, which, to be fair, could make a difference. But you know what? Since we got put in such a gift position at the moment, and we didn't have to spend a single dollar to put anything in the ground, let's just not bother. As for the harvester, I'm not going to pick that up until it is actually harvest time. Which, once I get back to the farm, there's going to be a cut. I'm going to get us to harvest time, and then we'll go grab the harvester, and I'll give you guys, in this instance, a time lapse of us harvesting our first batch of cotton, kind of. It's not like we planted it, so we borrowed it, I guess. Stole it. Highway robbery. Grand Theft Farm. Oh my gosh. Breaking loose. But yeah, so I'll cut and we'll return once we hit harvest time. Unless something dramatic happens and the weeds are docking even more bonus, then we might need to take action. But otherwise, I'm not too concerned. I think we'll just let it ride and see what we can pull out as is. Because even now, I mean, 83% isn't terrible. That could change down to 70, I think, if I'm correct in thinking it's a 10%. This one will get full. It's just this one that I guess the shoddy owner before me decided he didn't like plowing. What a loser. So I will see you guys once we hit harvest time. Holy crap, you're never going to believe it. We're in the future. It's already harvest time. So we need to get going. Both our wonderful fields are now ready. On a plus side, no weeds. We didn't end up, at least not from what I can see, with any weed problems. So kind of a saving grace there. And both seem to have a really good yield. Other than this one. This one's it's a little lower. After we plow, I bet you money we'll have to lime, though. So there is that. Now, the dilemma. We're going to need our harvester. So I am just going to warp myself over there. If it'll freaking let me. There we go. And let's get this harvester. Good old lease to own. I did keep an eye out on the used market to see if one would pop up. It did not. That's kind of just the luck of the draw. And unfortunately, we did not win. Is it just fuel capacity? That one has a smaller total capacity, and it rolls it in square ones that are, or round ones that are smaller. Interesting. Well, we're going to take the case because it's cheaper, to be quite frank. And let's go ahead and lease this bad boy per work hour, 10K. Per work day, 4K. Yep. I mean, we're going to buy it out, hopefully, after we harvest. If we can buy it out after we harvest, I think we'll be in a good spot. I don't know how much this is going to net us, to be perfectly honest with you. And I did want to bring something up that crossed my mind, one of which being I do have a mod to start in the spring. So if for some reason you're confused how I was able to find land already with cotton planted, it's because I have the mod to start it in spring, largely because very rarely do I ever play and go, gosh, I'm so mad that it's spring right now. Everything is just easier when you start there, so that's what I went ahead and added on. I use it even when I'm not trying to do cotton or anything that's, in that season, just because it gives you ample time to do whatever you need to do in most cases. And I have a feeling we're going to take a while because this sucker is slow as hell. But I do also want to bring something up, that of which being I'm going to make strides to try and make this semi-realistic. I see all the time in other YouTube videos, the comments are always going, oh, it's not realistic, oh this, oh that. I'll tell you this, I can't promise that I'm going to follow all the rules of physics when I play this game. I'm going to kickflip that truck once or twice. Maybe even a tray flip if I'm feeling crazy that day. But you very well may see me pick something up that I should not be able to pick up, and that's just how it's gonna go. So I just want to make that blatantly clear. For instance, on this first harvest, I'll probably just pick up the cotton bales because I'll be honest with you, we don't really have the margin to go buy what we need to pick those up, and I'm not trying to completely screw myself off the rip. So I will move towards getting the correct tools and equipment for the job. So in the second season or the second harvest, I'm hoping I'll have that fleshed out. We'll have enough money and I can go get what I need to do it the quote-unquote correct way. But bear with me for this first one. Don't really care. It's a video game. I'll be perfectly honest. And I'm playing this for my own enjoyment. Even though I'm sure, hopefully, someone enjoys watching me do it. That's an added bonus. But don't get it twisted. It's a video game. I'm going to pick up a fat cotton bale. And let me be frank, you're just going to have to deal. Nothing else to it, really, if I'm being perfectly honest. And for this, we're going to hit the part, now that I've gotten that out of the way, where I do believe I'm going to have the AI take over and have him put in some work, because this is going to take a hot minute, and you guys are going to get a little time lapse of our first harvest. And before we go this episode, it'll be us taking over our bales of cotton and seeing how much we make. And then the next episode's when the real work starts. Because we're going to have to reseed. We're going to have to replow. And do all the other fun stuff like refertilize. So, right now, enjoy this montage. Okay, so we're back. To start off with, yeah, I'm not going to put a time lapse of that in because that took a long time. I underestimated how slow this was. It took almost 2.5 hours to just do these fields. So we're gonna have to see about trying to do something to fix that because that's a little bonkers. And I question whether or not we even keep that one on a lease to own. I'm thinking that might be a mistake because that was miserable. And to be perfectly honest, I think what we might end up doing is seeing if there's some mods to add some extra cotton harvesters. And if there's some DLC that I don't own that has that, maybe I'll do that. But let's go sell this to end off the video. We have 3 full bales, and then that one right there closest to our canopy is not a full bale. That's like a half roundabout. So let's try and maneuver this without causing any accidents on either myself, oh my lord, well that was pretty sick, or the civilians. Preferably me. I don't really care about the AI civilians, to be fair, but I'd rather not have to try and flip this truck back over with the bales on it, but we'll see how that goes. You know what I didn't do that we're going to stop and do real quick, even if it's more just pragmatic. First off, we're going to swap that back to 5 times. That's right. To make it happen in one day, I had to take and make it run on real time. That's how long it took. Cotton. Not the best, not the worst. We'll just go ahead and sell, and then we will actually just straight up return that harvester, because I'll be honest, I'm not feeling it. I'm thinking we look for a different avenue on that one, because that was brutal. That was really brutal. I see why people don't do cotton. Because the only way I see that not being brutal is if I had 3 or 4 harvesters running at the same time. Obviously, that would have cut it down in half, and it still would have taken about an hour, which is a wild number for that size field. With a normal combine, that would have taken like 30 minutes to harvest all of that. Yeah. So, we're going to hit the drawing board on that one between the next episode. And I'll figure that one out off screen and see what options we can do. I'm leaning towards checking out the mod page and seeing what they got. And let's go ahead and get these sold and see what our takeaway is. I'm so sorry, truck. You just come over here. I've spent so long doing this. I'm just gonna muscle you over a little bit there. Let's see if this whole thing's gonna end up being worth it. I mean, so far this is a good bit. 89K. I mean, you know what? That's not too bad. That's not bad at all for a bale. We just have to multiply it by a hell of a lot. So we're going to get another 86K, which is going to put us in the $500,000 zone. And then we should get another 4. So I think we might be able to hit 600, which is actually, you know what? I'm not mad about that. I'm very okay with that number for a first harvest, especially knowing that technically we didn't spend anything to plant any of this. All we did is harvest it. Um, well, it wasn't free. We paid with a lot of our time, or my time, I suppose. Um, but that is not bad. I still think our play moving forward is going to be buying more land. It's going to be a heck of a lot of going through and prepping land, but I can just yap during that, I think, and do some cutting, and we'll make some content out of it yet. I mean, to be fair, I mean, this episode, it started off hot. Luckily, this is all essentially 1 year and one video, although not quite, because the year's not over and we still have to prep for the next season. Let's grab and put the full bale on first. And that's the other thing I'd like to do for the next season. Missed a little bit. It's fine. That wasn't going to make that much of a difference, unfortunately. Because I've seen a lot of people that just avoid doing cotton, and I kind of see why after this. This was legitimately kind of miserable. I'm not going to lie. But, hey, I'll give it one thing. It pays out. And if you guys don't want me to add mods, because, I mean, certainly, if we don't add any harvester mods, it'll keep this pretty challenging, because that was a lot of time. And I don't inherently mind putting the time into it if it's more interesting to watch me struggle. I have to imagine doing something like this, going for the sheer amount of money. The struggle is probably why a lot of people would click on the video. But my God, this drove me absolutely bonkers. By about the hour and 45-minute mark of watching this thing drive around, collecting cotton, I was losing my mind. I was absolutely losing my mind. And yeah. I guess let me know if you guys aren't gonna want me to help myself, then I will not. And we will just buy like 6 or 7 harvesters in total to make this whole deal work and be a reality. Oh, I'm doing hopscotch. But yeah, anyways. Just what was crossing my mind. It's up to you guys, though. I'm not gonna impose my will. I'm just the guy playing the game. I'm not the guy that has to watch it. So I suppose my voice doesn't matter that much. And I will be trying to get the right equipment so I can do these bales correctly and load them correctly on a correctly weighted and sized trailer. But for this first one, it's a learning curve. All right, I'll be perfectly honest. I tried testing around and seeing what would be a good fit for these bales, but I couldn't even find what was the best fit. I might have to implore the internet to see what's a good fit for picking these bales up. Everything I tried tipped it over. Am I gonna fit through here? Oh, kind of. Let's go. Ratchet straps for the win. This time we won't be an animal about it. We should just be able to back it up. I think. And then if we unstrap it. Maybe we can just roll them off. Nope. That's kind of weird. Everything else, it'll let you do it while it's on the trailer. Why am I not surprised that it won't do it with the cotton? And this should be the half bale, so that, yeah. How much was that? 49. So I was pretty accurate with how much it gave. And this one should be the 86 again, I believe. And we should be at about that 600 mark. Yeah. Yeah. So about 604. Okay. Nice. Let's quickly, before we end this off, we're going to go ahead and get rid of that combine. Because I'm going to go under the assumption that at this point I'm going to look into some mods to see if there's any better cotton picking combines. It's one of those things, or just harvesters. Are they combines? I don't know. Harvester, whatever. I really don't want anything like outrageous. Like, it doesn't have to move faster, but something that can pick maybe like 2 more rows, 3 more rows. I mean, even that would be a godsend to speed up the process. Because presently, I mean, it only picks, 5 rows at a time? It's so painfully slow. So if we can speed that up at all. Actually, I don't even need to go grab the combine to return the lease. Never mind. Let's just run back over there and turn it in, and that'll be it for today. That'll end our first harvest. Not only first harvest, but only free harvest, kind of. It's the only one where we didn't have to do all the manual labor to get to the harvesting point. So, let's see. Garage. It's not in there. Leased items. Return. Yes. It has been returned. 20,000 leasing costs. I thought it already took that, didn't it? Or is it going to lower us? Why is it still on the screen? It did not lower us. So it was already taken out when we got it. Cool. So, yeah, that'll be all she wrote for that harvester. Unless people want me to continue using those harvesters, I'm going to go under the assumption that no one gives a damn. And no one's going to put up a fight when I roll up and have some sort of John Deere, not even mega harvester, but just mediocre harvester. And I think we'll all be happier because of it. I certainly will. Oh, no. Especially after how that went. So, let's pull back in, and then we're going to end it off. And then in the next episode, we have to start prepping these fields for the pain of plowing all this land. And it might be worth picking up another tractor and another plow and just duplicates of things to make it work. Obviously, I don't think we're going to be able to get another one of these guys for 100 and something thousand, or maybe it was 2. I don't know, but I got it for a great deal, and I doubt we're going to find another one. But with that, I will let you guys go. Let me know what you think about the mods, if you agree, if you don't, and I'll catch you in the next episode, and we will do all the painful yard work, we'll call it. Have a good one.